कस्तूरी तिलकं ललाटपटले वक्षस्थले कौस्तुभम् नासाग्रे वर्मौक्तिकं करतले वेणुकरे कङ्कणम् सर्वाङ्गे हरिचन्दनं सुललितम् कंठे च मुक्तावली गोपास्त्री परिवेष्टितो विजयते गोपाल चूड़ामणि वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंस चाणूरमर्दनम् देवकी परमानन्दम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavat Mahapuran, the highest Vedic scripture. We are into the 9th canto. Bhagavat Mahapuran has 12 cantos and 335 chapters. We are in the 9th canto and we have completed 11 chapters so far, which you can see in the index. Today we shall take up the 12th chapter, which is about the rest of the kings in the Ikshvaku Vansh, the lineage of Ikshvaku. So we always refer to the verse in Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, shlok number 1. Imam vivasvate yogam prokta vanaham abhyayam vivaswan manve praha manur ikshvake bravita. Shri Krishna has said in Bhagavad Gita that, O Arjun, I am not imparting this knowledge for the first time. I have imparted this knowledge to sun god Vivaswan many, many years ago. And the same knowledge was passed on by Vivaswan to his son Manu, and Manu passed it on to his son Ikshvaku. So through Bhagavad Gita also we learned about this Chandravansh and Suryavansh. So when the creation begins, we have Brahmaji as the first created personality. He has the Manas Putras, and then when the expansion of the universe is not growing sufficiently, Brahmaji sits in the meditation and from his body emerge Manu and Shatrupa, and they are the ones who begin the Mathuni Srishti. Before that, the Srishti, the creation, is asexual. There is no mother. And from Manu and Shatrupa, this Mathuni Srishti begins. And Manu and Shatrupa have 5 children, Uttanpad and Priyavrat, and the 3 daughters, Akuti, Prasuti, and Devhuti. So we have learned about all those lineages in the past, Priyavrat and Uttanpad, and we come across in the same lineage these personalities. Ikshvaku, who is the son of Manuji. So in the previous 2 chapters, we read about Sri Ram. Sri Ram is mentioned very briefly in Bhagavad Mahapuran, which is predominantly about Sri Krishna's Leelas and his other associates. And Sri Ram is described very briefly. So now we go into the lineage of Ikshvaku, and we will learn about various personalities. But before that, let us begin the session with our bhajan for the evening. So this is evening. This is actually late evening night in Singapore. We have changed the timing. Earlier we used to have it earlier, but now we will have the session at this time, which is perhaps 3 p.m. in UK. So today's bhajan is Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe, Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe, Bhukti Mukti Nade Radhe Prema Sudhade. O my Radhe Govind, I desire neither bhukti, material pleasures, nor mukti, liberation. I only desire the sweet nectar of your divine love. Make me a servant of your servant's servant. Radhe Govind Govind Radhe Radhe Govind Govind Radhe Radhe Govind Govind Radhe Radhe Govind Govind Radhe Bhukti Mukti Nade Radhe Prem Sudha De Bhukti Mukti Nade Radhe Prem Sudha De निज दासी 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 बना दे निज दासी 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 बना दे राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे You are the ocean of the nectar of Braj. I am begging you for just a drop. Bless me with Gopi Prem through any of your gopis. Make me such that I always shed tears of love when I call your name. Make me such that I always sing your glories with ecstasy. ब्रज रस की एक बूंद पिला दे ब्रज रस की एक बूंद पिला दे को गोपी प्रेम दिला दे को गोपी प्रेम दिला दे राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे तेरा नाम लेके रोऊं ऐसी बना दे तेरा नाम लेके रोऊं ऐसी बना दे तेरा गुण गाऊं नित ऐसी बना दे तेरा गुण गाऊं नित ऐसी बना दे राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे बोलिए श्रीमद तेरी छवि ध्याऊं नित ऐसी बना दे Make me such that I always meditate on your divine form. Make me such that I see you whenever wherever I cast my glance. Make me such that I become unable to live without you. O loving daughter of King Vrishabhanu, O Radharani, says Sri Kripalu, tell me if there is anybody as bad as me in this world. तेरी छवि ध्याऊं नित ऐसी बना दे, तेरी छवि ध्याऊं नित ऐसी बना दे, जित देखो जित देखो तू ही दिखे ऐसी बना दे। राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद, राधे राधे गोविंद, राधे गोविंद गोविंद, राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद, राधे। तेरे बिनु जीऊं नहीं ऐसी बना दे, श्री वृषभानु दुलारी प्यारी राधे। तेरे बिनु जीऊं नहीं ऐसी बना दे, श्री वृषभानु दुलारी प्यारी राधे। को हो कृपालु तो जो बुरा तो बता दे, को हो कृपालु हो जो बुरा तो बता दे। राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद, राधे राधे गोविंद, राधे गोविंद गोविंद, राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद, राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद, राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद, राधे। बोलिए श्रीमद सद्गुरु सरकार की जय, श्रीमद युगल सरकार की जय। जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे। Our koti koti pranam to the lotus feet of Sri Hari and Sri Guru. Our koti koti pranam to Swami Mukundanandji. My humble pranam to each one of you. And now we shall read from the two chapters, chapter 12 and chapter 13, from Canto 9 of Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran. The chapter is called Ikshvaku's Lineage. The first slide, I'll read a couple of slides and after that I'll open up for the participants. So if you wish to read, please raise your hand. Sukhdev Maharaj continues, Lord Shri Ram's son Kush, son was Atithi, whose son was Nishad, whose son was Nav, whose son was Pundrik, whose son was Chemdanva, whose son was Devanik, whose son was Aniha, whose son was Priyatra, whose son was Balashthal, whose son was Vajranab. Vajranab emanated from a ray of Suryadev. His son was Khagan, whose son was Vidruti, whose son was Hiranyanav. Hiranyanav, a teacher of yoga, was a disciple of sage Jaimini. Sage Yagvalkya of coastal city received the teachings of Atma Vidya, knowledge of the self, from Hiranyanav, which cuts the knot of ignorance and leads a jiva to great elevation. Hiranyanav's son was Pushya, whose son was Dhruv Sandhi, whose son was Sudarshan, whose son was Agni Varn, whose son was Shigra, whose son was Maru. He is the same Maru who has attained perfection and even today resides in Kalpagram, colony of yogis in Himalayas. He will once again revive the solar dynasty at the end of Kali Yuga. Maru's son was Prashushrut, whose son was Sandhi, whose son was Amarshan, whose son was Mahaswan, whose son was Vishwasha, whose son was Prasenjit, whose son was Takshak, whose son was Bruhadbal. This is the same Bruhadbal who was slayed by your father Abhimanyu, dear Parikshit. So, mind you, the narration is between Sukdev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj. So, Sukdev Goswami is narrating the lineage of Ikshvaku in such great detail. So, let's move on to the next slide. The forthcoming future sons coming in the lineage of Ikshvaku will be Bruhadbal's son will be Bruhadran, whose son will be Urukriya, whose son will be Vataswarudh, whose son will be Prativyom, whose son will be Bhanu, whose son will be the great warrior general Divak, whose son will be Sahadev, whose son will be Bruhadashwa, whose son will be Bhanuman, whose son will be Pratikashva, whose son will be Supratik, whose son will be Marudev, whose son will be Sunakshatra, whose son will be Pushkar, whose son will be Antariksh, whose son will be Sutapa, whose son will be Mitrajit, whose son will be Bruhadraj, whose son will be Barhi, whose son will be Krutanjaya, whose son will be Rananjaya, whose son will be Sanjay, whose son will be Shakya. Shuddha whose son will be Langal, whose son will be Prasenjit, whose son will be Chudrak, whose son will be Ranak, whose son will be Shurat, whose son Sumitra will be the last king in the lineage of Bruhadbal. And on the right side, you can see the personalities, Maru and all those very small letters, difficult to read. So this is the lineage of King Ikshvaku, who is the son of Manuji. Now let's see the next. Ikshvaku's dynasty will be till King Sumitra, as it will terminate, end in Kali Yug. So there is the verse, Ikshvaku namyam vanshaha Sumitrantoho bhavishyati yatastam prapya rajanam sanstham prapyasti vai Kalau. This race of the Ikshvakus will have the end in Sumitra. For having reached this king, the line will actually terminate in the Kali Yuga. So, next slide. So, that completes the chapter 12. And in chapter 13, we read about the son of Ikshvaku called King Nimi. So many of us are familiar with the names King Nimi and King Janak. So let's hear about their story. Sukdev ji continues with his narration to King Parikshit. Ikshvaku's son Nimi once invited Guru Vasisth to perform a yagya. The Guru informed King Nimi that since he had already committed to Indradev, so he would conduct Nimi's yagya after completing Indra's yagya, and left for the same. King Nimi, knowing that life is unpredictable and to use the precious available time, went ahead and started the yagya with the other priests till Guru Vasisth would be free. On returning back, the Guru saw this act of King Nimi as a transgression due to his pride of knowledge. Then Guru Vasisth cursed King Nimi to drop off his physical body. King Nimi, on his part, seeing this as an adharma, according to him, unfair of his Guru, counter-cursed him too, to drop off his greedy body. Nimi, who was adept in spirituality, dropped off his physical body, and my ancestor too, Vasisth, dropping his physical body, was reborn to Mitra Varun and nymph Urvashi, O Parikshit. So how King Nimi counter-cursed Sage Vasisth, and how Sage Vasisth cursed King Nimi to drop off their physical bodies is a fascinating story. But King Sage Vasisht was reborn to Mitra Varun and Urvashi. That is another very fascinating story. So let's move on to the next slide. In the meantime, if there is anyone who would like to read, please do so. Anticipating that without a king ruler, there would be chaos, anarchy, the other priests, sages, then embalmed Nimi's physical body, praying to the Devatas, let King Nimi come back to life if you are pleased. The Devatas agreed. The soul spirit of Nimi, however, refused, saying, "Do not trap me in this physical body again." Sages, fearing attachment to his body, which is definitely going to be separated, worship the lotus feet of Srihari to be free from transmigration. I too am not at all eager to come back to the physical body, which is bound to get me suffering, grief, pain, and bondage, with fear of death always hovering around, similar to a fish facing death every moment. The Devatas agreeing replied, O sages, let the soul of King Nimi always exist as per his wish in a subtle body of any jiva, and his presence will be felt, perceived every time with the blink of eyes. With the sages still churning the physical body of Nimi, a sun prince manifested. From the churning, and a new clan dynasty of Kshatriya kings got generated. Due to his extraordinary birth, the child was called Janak as Vaide, being born through Vide churning, and was also known as Mithila for building the city Mithila. So this is how King Janak was born, by churning, because King Nimi refused to be born and to be given a body again. So they churned the physical body of Nimi, and a son and a prince manifested, and which led to this new dynasty of Kshatriya kings. And this child was called Janak, as he was born through the churning. Okay, let's move on. Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, Radha Radhe Bhaiya. I would like to read the
Right.
next slides.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Janak's son was Udavashu, whose son was Nandivardhan, whose son was Suketu, whose son was Devvrat, whose son was Bruhadrath, whose son was Mahavirya, whose son was Sudruti, whose son was Drushtaketu, whose son was Haryashva, whose son was Maru, whose son was Pratipak, whose son was Krutirath, whose son was Devmid, whose son was Vishrut, whose son was Mahadruti, whose son was Krutirath, whose son was Maharom, whose son was Swarnarom, whose son was Harshvarom. The great Sirdhvaj was the son of Harshvarom. He is the same whom we more commonly known as Janak, who while plowing the field with his Sir found the divine Sita and hence is known as Sirdhvaj. Sirdhvaj's son was Pushdhvaj, whose son was Dharmadhvaj, who had two sons, Krutdhvaj and Mitadhvaj. Krutdhvaj's son was Kesidhvaj and Mitadhvaj's son was Khandikya. Kesidhvaj was well versed in Atmavidya, knowledge of the self, and Khandikya thought well versed in Khandikya, though well versed in rituals, was fearful of Kesidhvaj and fled. Later, Kesidhvaj had Bhanuman as his son, whose son was Shatyadhum, whose son was Suchi, whose son was Sanadhaj, whose son was Urdhvaketu, whose son was Aj, whose son was Purujit, whose son was Arishtanemi, whose son was Shrutayu, whose son was Suparshvak, whose son was Chitrarath, whose son was famous king Shemadi, whose son was Samarth, whose son was Satyarath, whose son was Upguru, whose son was Upgupta.
Right. So many names and great description of the dynasty. Few names we do remember like Chitrarath and Aristonemi. These names are more popular, and Aj also. Let's move on. Okay,
Uh,
so with that we have completed. Okay, one more. Yeah.
One more, yeah. Upgupta emanated from a ray of Agnidev. Upgupta's son was Vashvanant, whose son was Yuyudh, whose son was Subhashan, whose son was Shrut, whose son was Jay, whose son was Vijay, whose son was Rut, whose son was Shunak, whose son was Vithvya, whose son was Dhruti, whose son was Bahulashva, whose son was Kruti, whose son was Mahavashi. Dear Parikshit, these kings of Mithila were experts in Atma Vidya. They conquered over the dualities of material life like joy, sorrow, hot, cold, grief, happiness, etc., while still leading a householder's life due to the grace of Lord Yajnavalkya and other Yogeshwars. Uh, would you like me to read the verse also? Yeah.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay. Verse 9, 13, 27. Itaye vai Mathila Rajan Atma Vidya Visharad Yogeshwar Prasaden Dvandver Mukt Gruhesh Pavi. Translation: all these kings of Mithila, O king, were really proficient in the knowledge of spirit. By the grace of masters of yoga, like sage Yajnavalkya, they were rid of pairs of opposites, such as joy and sorrow, even in their household life.
Right. So we are reading about these kings of Mithila. They had great knowledge about the Atma Vidya, the knowledge of the self, and the knowledge of the self helped them to conquer the dualities of life. So, what are the dualities of life? There is heat and cold, there is grief and happiness, there is joy and sorrow, and there is, criticism and praise. Right in the second chapter in Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna, right in the beginning, Sri Krishna quotes such a similar verse: Matra sprashastu konteya shistoshna sukha dukkhada agama paino nityastas tan titakshasva bharata. So, in Bhagavad Gita, the first chapter is about lamentation by Arjun about the consequences of the war. So, Sri Krishna listens to Arjun very patiently, and when he begins addressing Arjun's issues, Arjun's situation, these are some of the early verses he speaks, and one of the verses is this: Matra sprashastu konteya sitoshna sukha dukkada. Arjun, do you not know how to cope with the heat and cold, the summer and the winter? So this is the nature of the world, the the life, the vicissitudes of life. Sometimes sorrow, sometimes happiness, sometimes praise, sometimes criticism. So joy and grief. So the dualities are discussed in this slide. Let us move on to the takeaways. So the takeaway for this session is taken from Bhakti Shatak. So the couplet is: जो हरि सेवा हेतु हो सोई कर्म बखान राधे राधे जो इति भगति बढ़ावे सोई समुझिय ज्ञान राधे राधे. So Bhakti Shatak, let me read from my text because it is It is not very much clear to me. Yes, I do have a little, you know, hoarse voice today, so please bear with me. And so the yeah, so the text, right? Only that action which is performed as service to Lord Krishna is right action, and only that knowledge by which love for him increases can be considered as true knowledge. So it is all about, enhancing our love and faith for the the Lord. So when we say the Lord Sri Krishna, we not only worship Sri Krishna, we worship all other associates of Sri Krishna, all other expansions of Sri Krishna, all different avatars, all the devotees. They constitute the the entire gamut. So it is about Nam Roop Gun Leela. The name of Sri Krishna, different names, the form, the qualities, the the pastimes, the leelas, and the dham, the abodes. Everything is worshipable. So our knowledge, which which is in line with this kind of a thinking that we have to enhance our faith and love, is the real knowledge, is the purport of this verse. An explanation is Krishna is specified, sorry, karma is specified by the Vedas is of three kinds: that which is only for the purpose of serving Sri Krishna, that which is devoid of devotion and at the same time also devoid of expectation of reward, that which is performed with the desire for some reward. So these are the three motivations in the action, in the karma. So there are some people who work only for the bliss of Sri Krishna, the pleasure of Sri Krishna. They are the highest, they are the Nishkam Bhakt, and there are very few personalities that qualify to be put in that bracket. King Ambarish was one such devotee. Every act of his was meant for the the happiness of the Lord. The second category is the one who does not have that devotion, bhakti, and also, but at the same time, he is devoid of expectation of reward. But he is neutral, he is detached from the reward of the actions. And the third one, the karma, which is performed with the desire for some reward. Amongst the three, the first kind of karma, which aims to serve Sri Krishna, is praiseworthy because the fruit of this karma is liberation from Maya and attainment of supreme bliss. The goal is service to please Sri Krishna. That is why it is said in the Bhagavatam, right action is that which is aimed to please God. So we can move to the next slide. Tat karma hari tosham yat, which is from Bhagavatam 4:29-49. Similarly, that knowledge is praiseworthy, which is about the names, form, attributes, etc. of Sri Krishna, because it increases devotion. It was by listening to Sri Krishna's attributes that Shukdev rejected the knowledge of Brahma. Harair Gunakshiptam Matir Bhagwan Badarayani. This is from first canto, 7th chapter, 11th verse. All other knowledge is binding. It has never been mentioned anywhere that knowledge devoid of devotion can lead to liberation. Love for a diamond increases proportionally with the knowledge of its value. In the same way, love increases with knowledge. If this does not happen, then such knowledge should be considered as ignorance. So, we had a little detailed account of the different personalities and kings in the lineage of King Ikchwaku in these two chapters, chapter 12 and chapter 13. And then we picked up this verse from Bhakti Shattak, which explains the importance of faith and devotion and knowledge. So, the story that must come to our mind is about this person who was walking on the road and he saw that a ring is lying on the road. So he picked up the ring thinking, okay, it may have some value. And because it was just lying on the road, he brought it home and he just casually put it on his desk, thinking that this may be an ordinary, false stone and a false, ring. But when one of his friends visited him, he said, "Where did you pick up this ring? This is pure gold," because he had the knowledge of gold. And this person was thinking this ring may be a couple of hundred rupees. The friend said this will be worth 50,000 rupees at least. So suddenly his importance for that ring grew. What he was considering very much worthless, now in his eyes the value is so much more. And then the friend also suggested, you go and get this stone checked. It may be a diamond also, who knows. And lo and behold, when the expert saw the stone, it was diamond, and the cost of the ring was estimated to be 10 lakh rupees. So now the same ring has become so much more precious to him as he discovered the knowledge. And then he is so cautious and he puts this ring in his locker. This is exactly what happens to our approach to the divine. We don't know the value, we don't know the power, we don't know the grace, we don't know our connection. And that is why in Ramayana Tulsidas Ji is saying, only when we have the knowledge, our bhakti is enhanced and we get to realize. So that is a little, you know, the message in the takeaway, and also the Srimad Bhagavat Mahapuran 2 chapters which we read today. With that, we can now open up for any comments or feedback. Bhaiya,
Radhe Radhe Bhaiya.
Radhe Radhe.
Nice session today as usual. Uh, Timings, my camera is not working. Sorry about that.
No issues. Yeah,
Okay.
because I'm also like, any change is always a little bit painful. So we are all adjusting. For me, it is quite late in the night, but this is so much better, because
Hmm.
afternoon is always difficult for me.
Hmm.
So if it is good for other participants, I'm good with this. This is good
Hmm.
for me. So yes, please carry on.
Yeah, I think I think everyone agreed for this, so I think
Right,
it's fine. But this is a new time. Maybe some regular people are missing. Maybe
right.
didn't
Yeah, maybe they are not
came.
aware, or
Yeah, yeah.
maybe they
Maybe
were
they
used to
missed
that
the
timing.
message.
Right.
Mm,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Okay. Also, one about this the clarity. So, what on my laptop, this PPT is not like working the software. So I convert it to
Okay.
PDF, and that's why the quality of image is like drop down. So next time I
Hmm.
will switch to my other laptop where I have the actually presentation. So I think the quality will not degrade in that sense.
Sure, sure.
So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I was trying something, and that's why I think we started a little bit late, 3 or 4 minutes. So I was
Yes,
doing
yes.
something. Okay, okay. I would like to ask one question, which
Yes,
was
please.
in like first two slides. So it was mentioned that about the lineage, Ishwaku's lineage. So half of the lineage was like in the past. So so Shukdev Maharaji said like whose son was like he was explaining the lineage, but which has already happened in the past. And in the next slide, they might mention then that the lineage who is going to come next, like whose son will be this and whose son will be this. So my question is that is it like always known beforehand, like as it is written in that whose son will come, like the complete lineage will be there, and so my question is like, is it already known that who is going to come and whose son will be who and like that?
Yeah, there are a lot of predictions, right? I mean, even when we started reading Bhagavatam,
Mhm,
right at the beginning, we read that in the 24 avatars, one of the avatars will be the Buddha avatar. So it
mhm,
is predicted in Bhagavad Mahapuran that Buddha will appear.
mhm,
After Bhagavatam was written. Bhagavatam was written 5,000 years back by Vedavyas, who is God
mhm,
himself. He has taken the form of an author, and so that is predicted. And as you said, so many other personalities are predicted. So the answer is yes, but also we hear that God, you know, also gives the freedom to the souls
mhm,
to do their part. And also you will hear that God does not know what you are going to do next.
mhm.
Because if he knows, that means it is already predetermined. That means
Mm,
the soul
yeah,
doesn't have the independence. But we
yeah.
will all agree that we all have independence.
Mhm,
God is not putting a pistol on our head and saying, do
mhm.
this, do this. He has given us the liberty. That is how the
Yeah,
law of karma is working
right.
so beautifully. So it is a mix of both. We can say that some events and some personalities are very well predicted, and
Mhm,
also there are many other happenings which are not predicted. So that is why the entire spiritual science is very much dichotomous. It is very contradictory.
okay.
Everything is full of like complexity and contradiction, and
Mhm.
that is why it is so fascinating. That will be a
Right.
little answer. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think,
right.
yeah, that answers my question.
I have one question. Like in this one,
Yeah.
Rajeshji, there was name of the Janak also. Janak son was Udvasu. So is the same Janak or is it different Janak?
So I think it should be the same Janak,
But
you
is
know.
Janak,
Because
it's the slide also we have said the Janak son was Udvasu. So it means Udvasu is the brother of Sita ji or it's different?
So, I mean, if it is the same Janak, then we can
Yeah.
say brother
Yeah.
of Sita ji. But Sita ji's birth is from the Mother Earth, right?
Yes. Okay.
And again, we have to read in detail about the the family tree of Janak ji, how many wives he had, and of course we remember Sunaina was his
Yes.
wife,
Yeah.
right? So yes, so I because we always hear about King Nimi and King
Mm.
Janak, and we always hear that King Janak was Vite.
Yes.
He did not have the consciousness of his body. This is what is always said. He can put his hand in fire and he doesn't feel that his hand is burning. So and he was a great jnani until the time he sighted Ram and Lakshman. Then he turned into a devotee. So yes, but I'm not very sure about the full details. So let me check.
But
Yeah.
Janaki was descendant of the King Nimi.
That's what I would say. And as per this chapter also, he's the descendant of King Nimi. I mean, King Nimi's body was churned, and Janak was born from there. Yeah.
We have Hema Didi.
Right.
Radhe Radhe Bhaiya, Radhe Radhe everyone.
Radhe Radhe.
I have a question on behalf of a work colleague.
Yeah.
Conversation happened in the kitchen last week between two work colleagues. One's a Swedish and the other one's a Pole. They were discussing about at what stage is the soul predestined. Now, my work colleague who's from Sweden, he's got good knowledge of spirituality because he's done the backpacking tour of India twice. So he said, "This is our life predestined at a particular time in the month when we're in the mother's womb?" Now, when he raised that question, I remembered Swami Mukund Anandji's lecture on Kriyaman Karma, Prarad Karma, and Sanchit Karma. It sort of like came flooding back in drips and drabs. And I remember Swami Mukund Anand saying that it's at 5 months where all our senses start to develop. But at what stage is the soul becomes conscious?
Okay, so there are both, narrations I've read. In one of the lectures, Sri Maharaji says the soul enters in the 5th month or 6th month, right? Before that, the body has been made. And so in some places, it would appear that, when the mother is conceiving, the soul is already there in the place.
Okay.
So this was a question when we started our Bhagavatam session. This was not resolved very well. But since Sri Maharaji has stated that the soul enters in the 5th month, we go by that version. And so what is said is, when the person leaves his body, the destination is already determined before the soul leaves the body.
Okay.
So somebody is dying,
Mm-hmm.
his soul will leave the gross body behind, the fire, water, earth, space, and air. But the subtle body and the causal body will go along with him.
Okay.
So the next body has already been selected. He will go into the womb of this mother, whether a cat or a dog, or whether he will also be subjected to some time in the hellish planets. Then he will go into the hellish planets, and once he has completed those punishments, then he will come back. Then he will come back into this mother's womb. So in that sense, we can say the soul's destination is already fixed right at the beginning. But the exact, like the entry of the soul into the body, as per Sri Maharaji's version, is in the 5th month.
5th month. Okay.
Yeah.
Radhe Radhe. Thank you for that.
Radhe.
It was quite a heavy, heavy
Yeah,
conversation, and I didn't want
it is
to say anything just in case I'm saying the wrong thing. So
Yeah.
I've got that clarity.
Correct.
So I will pass that on to Tommy.
Yeah.
Radhe
Because
Radhe. Thank
this
you.
question came up when we started Bhagavad Mahapuran, because in the second canto, all these stories are there. When Devahuti, she is the mother of Lord Kapil. So when Lord Kapil is imparting the knowledge to Devhuti, he describes the journey of the soul. That how the body develops in the mother's womb is very graphically described. And also that, the soul prays to the Lord in the womb. Oh Lord, I don't want to come back into the world again. It is so full of miseries, dukhalyam ashashvatam, because in the womb, the soul remembers its past life. So it is very much reluctant to be born. But then, as per the law of karma, that cannot be escaped now.
No.
So once the person is born, by the grace of the Lord, the memory is wiped out. Otherwise, we will remember our past lives. But in some cases, exceptional cases, the memories are also retained, which we have seen in some people. So it's all very fascinating, and no one knows the full details except God.
Okay. Radhe,
Right.
thank you. Second
Radhe.
canto, Lord Kapil. Make
Yes.
note of that for him to read.
Yes, please. So we have a couple of minutes. Yes, Bhaiya.
Yeah. Anyone
my
else
battery.
would like to share?
Smita Didi.
Yeah. Battery is going. Where's the battery going? It's in there, so
राधे राधे भैया।
Radhe Radhe.
हर बार की तरह ये सेशन भी बहुत ही आनंदपूर्ण था भैया, बहुत सारी नई बातें पता चली। और जहाँ तक मुझे लग रहा है, अभी जो हम लोग बोल रहे थे, भैया ने क्वेश्चन किया कि ये जो जनक जी की बात हो रही है, क्या सीता माँ के पिताजी जनक है या कोई और है? मुझे तो लगता है ये वही है, क्योंकि विदेह भी उन्हीं का नाम था, आपने जैसा
जी।
पहले भी बताया। तो
जी।
मुझे नहीं लगता कि कोई संशय की बात होनी चाहिए। और ये रामायण का प्रकरण भी चल रहा है भागवतम में, तो मैं तो 100% श्योर हूँ कि ये वही है।
जी।
और जो दीदी ने ये अभी सवाल किया कि 5वें महीने में सोल जाता है बॉडी में या क्या, ये चीज तो मुझे भी पता नहीं है। और सचमुच में ये प्रश्न बहुत ही अच्छा लगा, और इसका वस्तुतः सही आंसर अभी भी मुझे लगता है कि हम लोगों को ढूंढने के लिए बचा हुआ है भैया। हम लोग इस पर थोड़ा सा और
पूरी
अध्ययन
तरह से
करें।
रिजॉल्व नहीं हुआ, बट वी
जी
कंक्लूडेड, महाराज जी के एक लेक्चर में है कि
जी
5वें महीने में सोल एंटर करता है। जी।
ओके, बहुत अच्छा, बहुत डिफरेंट टाइप का सवाल था, बहुत मजेदार था। और हम लोग सब इसका आंसर कहीं ना कहीं से अच्छा और आंसर निकाले तो
या
और
ऑफ
अच्छा
कोर्स।
लगेगा। थैंक यू सो मच भैया, बहुत अच्छा सेशन। थैंक यू।
Thank you, Radhe Radhe. So with that, we can conclude. बोलिए श्रीमद सदगुरु सरकार की जय।
जय
श्रीमद युगल सरकार की जय।
जय
जय जय श्री
श्री
राम।
राधे।
जय
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 श्री
श्री
राम।
राधे।
जय जय
जय
श्री
श्री
राधे।
राधे।
Oh my goodness.
राधे राधे।
राधे राधे।